Okay, today we're going to talk about Picasso portraits. Picasso used to obviously paint portraits, but what would happen is in the middle of the portrait, the person would get up and walk off, and so he would get snippy because they did that. So he would paint them walking away, like they were walking away, or as if they were sitting in front of him and looking straight at him. So like some of the you know, noses are off to the side, because when you look at the, you know, when you're walking off, you see the side of your face and the front of your face. So some of it is the front of your face, some of it is the side. Let's see if I have another one. This is another example of a drawing from a student where the side, the nose is off to the side, but the lips and the eyes are straight on. So there's different ways. Oh, this is iconic. This is Picasso. And you can see that he drew the person as if they were walking off, but then the eyes are all walt-nageled. I mean, if you're walking off this way, your eye wouldn't be pointed. Your eye would be pointed this way, not this way. But you can see what he did. And then there is a straight-on shot of an eye, and then the side of a mouth. So you can see how he mixed it all up. And that was all part of a movement called Cubism. And Cubism was actually taking an image and breaking it up into smaller shapes. Many of the shapes, just like we had talked about, remember, just to recap, you know, we did a whole bunch of geometric shapes. And when we were working on the geometric shapes, we used the geometric shapes to create a robot. And this is sort of what he did with shapes, is he cut up these the shapes within a face and made them, you know, more geometric. That's what Cubism was all about. Many of the Cubists also, here's another one. One of the Cubists, they would take it and actually make everything geometric. So they would do that with landscape. Another example of Cubism is from George Braque. George Braque was from France, and here is one of his paintings. It's actually a landscape, and he was one of the very first people who actually started breaking apart his paintings into geometric shapes, and to create this this cubistic looking landscape in France. So George Braque painted between 1908 and 1912, and he was very closely associated with Pablo Picasso in France. They used to hang out together. You have a packet of information, and in the packet you have examples of other artists that were Cubists and how they would break up the landscape into geometric shapes and then shade them based upon the geometric shapes. So anyway, here are some examples. All of these examples are in your packet if you want to download it. Today we're going to do some practice. So if you're not going to go crazy and you're going to do just basic shapes, these are some basic shapes. This is in your packet. What we're going to do is you can trace them. If you've never done anything before, you can go with your pen and trace over the different eyes, just like that, so you can figure out how to create it. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to practice. And we did a curve at the top, a curve at the bottom. There are circles on the inside or curves on the inside, and then the center of the eye. You can practice again. And practice sheets are so awesome because before you get started on your masterpiece, you can practice everything first and then do your masterpiece. So you do the curves, you do the circles. Now we're going to add some, maybe some eyelashes can go this way, or if you do the eyelashes the other way, you could do eyelashes the other way. Then there's usually underneath your eye is basically an eyeball, and underneath it is sort of a space, and then the top of your cheek.
So you could put a line to start showing where the top of the cheek is. And then these are eyebrows. You can do them like that. You could do them like that. You can do eyebrows all kinds of different ways and color them in. Okay, and then a nose. There's different ways to do noses. Like I said, these are the simple ways. These are the more realistic ways. We're going to get into some other ones in a minute. I'm going to go down. We're going to do a loop. Do a loop on the other side. And then you could do another one. Now, if you've never done this before, you can go on and trace. There's nothing wrong with tracing. That's how we all learn. So you can start out with a V for the top of the mouth, and then you can pull down the top lip, and then pull around the bottom lip, and then cut it in half. So you could start with a V, and then we could do that. This could be a different mouth, not one that's so large. You could do one with a V. You could make it even larger if you want, and pull it around. And it's a different one where the top lip is larger than the bottom. And then here's an ear. An ear goes up and around, and then it has a lobe. You have a lobe on your ear. And so that's the inside of the ear. And so we're just practicing. All right, so there's our first practice sheet. Other practice sheets, we have several other ones. Here's one right here that's more angular. You know, the lobes are more rectangles. Here's a different nose. Here's a nose from the side here's a nose from the side instead of from the front. This one was like a nose from the front, just like that's a nose from the front. If you're looking straight at somebody or at the side of someone. So you get to choose what you want to use for your picture. And then here's another eye. And here's a different eye that's angular eye. Remember, you can trace these. Trace them. And then, you know, the more you practice, the better you'll get when you actually start your drawing on your watercolor paper. So this first you know, drawing that we're doing is on watercolor. So sometimes lips can be done like a heart, where you can do a heart and then do like that, and that can be some lips. So you get to practice, and you have step-by-step instructions in your packets if you want to go by the step-by-step instructions. There are a whole bunch of different ideas, and I hope you enjoy this project. All right, so
in the next video, we're going to start the drawing for our watercolor Picasso portrait.